It's been a while since I uploaded a scary video like this, so I decided to take you guys back to the basics. Here's a short film I shot last summer, and if you enjoy it, let me know in the comments. On New Year's Eve, 5 people are going to be spending the night inside the most haunted house in America, and if they survive, they will win $1 million. So let me know if you would spend the night in this haunted house for $1 million. This is part 3 of the Scariest Places in America series. A young woman named Sarah walks up to an old abandoned house at night. The house looks spooky, with its boarded up windows and overgrown lawn. She holds a flashlight in her hand and shines it across the yard. There are no lights anywhere. She walks up to the front door, opens it, and steps inside. She closes the door behind her and the hallway is pitch black. She continues walking inside. Sarah walks into a dark living room and shines her light around the room. There are cobwebs hanging from the ceiling and broken pieces of furniture everywhere. She walks closer to the window and she can see the moonlight shining through the gaps in the blinds. As she walks further into the house, she sees a rocking chair moving back and forth in the corner of the room. But when she shines her light over there, there's nobody in the chair. She gets creeped out and decides to walk upstairs. As she walks up the creaky wooden stairs, she sees a rocking horse moving back and forth on the second-floor landing. Again, she shines her light over there, but there's nobody in the horse. She begins to feel like she's not alone in the house. She continues walking down the hallway and comes across a random old TV. She gets a weird feeling and decides to change the channel. When she does, a ghostly white face appears on the screen, and it seems to be watching her. She quickly changes the channel and the face disappears. She thinks to herself that she's probably just imagining things. Sarah continues walking down the hallway and sees a bunch of old wedding dresses hanging on the wall. She walks past them and sees a strange shadow figure standing at the end of the hallway. She screams and runs away from the figure. It disappears after a few seconds, and she catches her breath. As she's walking around the house, she hears whispers saying her name over and over again. She drops her flashlight and it rolls under a table. She crawls under the table to grab it, but as she's crawling around, she hears the whispers getting louder and louder. Suddenly, all of the lights in the house turn on and she screams. She hides under the table until the lights turn off again. She stands up and sees a pair of feet standing next to the table. She hides again, and the feet begin to walk away. Sarah slowly walks towards the feet and shines her flashlight on them. She follows the person through the house, and they keep walking. She calls out to them, but they don't respond. They walk up the stairs and Sarah follows them. They stop at the top of the stairs and she shines her flashlight right in their face. But when she does, they disappear. She begins to panic and runs out of the house. As she's running, she can hear the whispers saying, "Sarah, come back, Sarah. We want to play with you." She stops running and hides in some bushes outside of the house. She tries to make herself small and hopes that whatever was chasing her will go away. She stays still for a while, and eventually the whispers fade away. She gets up and runs to her car and drives away as fast as she can. Back inside the house, a rocking chair begins to move by itself, and a rocking horse starts moving back and forth. The next day, Sarah goes back to the house to look for the person that she saw inside. She opens up the front door and walks inside. Everything looks different in the daylight. She walks into the living room and notices that the rocking chair was moved from where she saw it the night before. She also notices that the rocking horse downstairs is now standing upright. She shines her flashlight on the floor and sees a bunch of horsehair. She feels a cold breeze and shivers. Sarah walks up the stairs and goes into a random room. There's an old vanity table in the middle of the room and a mirror hanging on the wall. She walks up to the mirror and sees a ghostly face appear behind her. She turns around, but there's nobody there. She asks, "Who's there?" But there's no response. She screams and runs out of the room. As she's running down the hallway, she can hear the whispers saying, "Sarah, why are you hiding? We just want to say hello." She keeps running until she reaches the front door. She opens it and runs out of the house. Later that day, Sarah goes back inside the house with a group of paranormal investigators. She shows them the mirror and explains what she saw. One of the investigators shines a light in the mirror and asks, "Is there anyone here who wants to talk to us?" Suddenly, the face appears again, and they can all see it. Sarah screams and hides behind one of the investigators. He puts his arm around her and tells her that everything's going to be okay. They continue talking to the ghost, and one of the investigators asks, "If you're here, can you make the rocking chair move?" Just then, the rocking chair downstairs begins to move back and forth. Everyone is shocked and Sarah is scared. She wants to leave the house, but the investigator tells her that they need to stay if they want to find out what's going on. Another one of the investigators walks over to the rocking chair and asks the ghost, "Why are you making the chair rock?" As he's asking the question, the chair suddenly stops moving. The investigator tells the ghost that they mean him no harm, and they just want to understand why he's haunting the house. Suddenly, a photo falls off of the wall, and one of the investigators picks it up. The photo shows a young girl wearing a Victorian nightgown. On the back of the photo is written, "Sarah, 1895. Everyone is shocked because Sarah's name is Sarah, and she was researching the history of the house. She found out that the girl in the photo died in the house 100 years ago. One of the investigators tells Sarah that she looks exactly like the girl in the photo. They believe that the ghost of the girl may have possessed Sarah the night before, and that's why she saw a ghostly face in the mirror and heard whispering voices. Sarah doesn't believe them and thinks that they're just making things up. She wants to leave the house, but they tell her that they need to do one more investigation. They walk up the stairs and into the room with the vanity table and mirror. One of the investigators asks, "If you're here, Sarah, please make the rocking horse move." Just then, the rocking horse downstairs begins to move back and forth again. Sarah screams and hides behind one of the investigators. He comforts her and tells her that everything's going to be okay. They stand in silence for a moment, and then Sarah asks, "Who's there? Is someone trying to haunt me?" Suddenly, the lights begin to flicker. The investigators tell Sarah to stay behind them as they walk towards the door. As they're walking, doors begin slamming shut all throughout the house. Sarah is terrified and runs out of the room. The investigators follow her, and they hear a loud crash coming from the living room. They run to the living room and see that the old TV from downstairs is now on the floor, and the ghostly white face is back on the screen. One of the investigators hits the TV with a baseball bat, smashing it. Sarah screams and hides behind one of the others. Suddenly, all of the lights in the house turn off, and they're plunged into darkness. One of the investigators turns on his flashlight and shines it around the room. The others do the same and begin searching for Sarah. They call out to her, but they can't find her anywhere. Just then, the lights turn back on, and they see Sarah standing in the middle of the room with a wild look on her face. Blood is dripping down her mouth, and she has a cut on her arm. The investigators are shocked and try to ask her what happened, but she doesn't respond. She looks at them and smiles. The video ends and we can hear Sarah's maniacal laughter echoing throughout the house. The camera pans out to reveal that the house is located in the middle of a dark forest. We can see trees and shadows moving in the moonlight. The camera continues to pan out until the house is no longer visible. All we can see is the dark forest and the bright full moon